3 claims went silent. Only 2 were actually delayed. NAPAICC Insider Research Desk, Tampa, Florida. A structure fire, a dishwasher leak, and a minor hurricane claim each produced weeks of adjuster silence. But a case-by-case review finds only 2 of the 3 represented an actual breakdown in the claims process. The findings illustrate why homeowners routinely misdiagnose delay, and why the same complaint can point to 3 unrelated causes. Key takeaways. 1. Silence alone is not diagnostic. Large loss claims can go quiet for weeks due to legitimate engineering, valuation, and inventory work, not misconduct. 2. The most common breakdown is administrative, not adversarial. Competing estimates that are never reconciled with no bad faith intent on either side. 3. The most serious pattern is a file that goes dark, is reassigned without notice, and is closed on a false record, a scenario homeowners are least likely to challenge in real time. 4. In all 3 cases reviewed, the resolution turned on a single written question demanding a specific, documented answer. Case 1, the large loss, 6 weeks of silence after a house fire. Loss type, structure fire. Silence period, 6 weeks. Resolution trigger, 1 written request. Outcome, not delayed. An electrical fault behind a laundry room outlet produced a total loss on roughly half of the structure. Kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and pervasive smoke and water damage throughout the remainder. In insurance terms, this is classified as a large loss, a category that engages a materially different adjustment process than an ordinary residential claim. For the first month, the file moved quickly. An on-site inspection, a cause and origin investigation, and a structural engineering evaluation were initiated in sequence. Then, the file went quiet for 6 weeks. Intermittent emails, no figure, no timeline. I assumed the file had stalled. I had no way of knowing whether that was true. A homeowner in a comparable large loss claim. Large loss claims of this scale routinely require 4 concurrent work streams: a cause and origin report, an independent structural evaluation, a full contents inventory that can reach thousands of individually priced line items, and coordination with the mortgage servicer. None of that constitutes misconduct. It is the baseline mechanical scope of adjusting a 6-figure loss. Diagnosis, not a delay. A large, legitimately complex claim proceeding at the pace its scope required. Resolution came from a single question directed to the adjuster supervisor. What specifically remains outstanding? The answer, 1 pending engineering report, expected within 10 days, arrived on schedule, and settlement discussions began the following week. Case 2, the routine claim. 8 months, no number. Loss type, water, appliance. Open duration, 8 months. Root cause, unreconciled estimates. Outcome, correctable delay. A failed dishwasher supply line caused water intrusion beneath cabinetry and into an adjoining subfloor. A routine high-frequency claim type with no inherent technical complexity. An adjuster inspected within a week. A mitigation contractor extracted moisture and removed flooring shortly after. 8 months later, the file remained open with no settlement, denial, or documented explanation. On its face, the complaint mirrored Case 01, an extended silence following an active start. The underlying condition was unrelated. Claims of this type typically stall for one of 3 reasons: a coverage dispute over sudden versus long-term causation, a scope disagreement between competing repair estimates, or simple caseload neglect. Review of the files surfaced the second explanation. The homeowner's contractor estimate and the carrier's internal estimate had never been formally compared. Diagnosis: a real correctable delay, administrative in origin, not evidence of bad faith. A written request asking precisely what was preventing resolution prompted a reconciliation of the 2 estimates within 3 weeks. Work that had been outstanding, unscheduled, for the better part of 8 months. Case 3, the reassigned file, closed without notice. Loss type, wind, minor hurricane. Documented calls, 17, unreturned. Carrier action, file closed, cited non-response. Outcome, genuine breakdown. Damage was limited. Torn soffit and fascia, a section of missing shingles, and interior staining from wind-driven rain. Claims of this scope are typically resolved within weeks. This file was not. An initial inspection occurred 9 days post-storm. Over the following month, the assigned adjuster's direct line was disconnected, and a call to the carrier's general line indicated reassignment out of region. A second adjuster was assigned. A second inspection was scheduled. Then, rather than an estimate, the homeowner received formal notice that the file had been closed for lack of homeowner response, a record contradicted by 17 documented unreturned calls. The damage was minor. The way the file disappeared was not. Case summary, Claim Autopsy research notes. Reassignment during high-volume catastrophe periods is not in isolation unusual. What distinguishes this case is the closure record itself. A stated basis, homeowner non-response, directly contradicted by the homeowner's own documentation. That combination moves the case from ambiguous to identifiable. Diagnosis, a genuine service breakdown. Reassignment, unreturned contact, and closure on a disputed record. The homeowner's initial instinct was to wait rather than escalate, out of concern that pushing back would slow the process further. A documented call log, a written timeline submitted to a claims manager, and a formal request to reopen produced reinstatement of the file within 12 days. Analysis, same complaint, 3 unrelated conditions. Each case in this review began with an identical homeowner complaint, an adjuster who stopped communicating. Each also required a materially different diagnosis, legitimate complexity in case 01, an unscheduled reconciliation in case 02, and an unrecorded service failure in case 03. Applying the wrong response in any of the 3 would have produced a worse outcome, added cost and friction on a claim that was already proceeding normally, continued passive waiting on a file that needed 1 phone call, or accepting a false closure record without challenge. In each instance, resolution followed the same mechanism, a specific written question requiring a specific written answer. That pattern, not confrontation and not passive waiting, is what separated a resolved file from an open one across all 3 cases. Homeowner names, adjusters, carriers, and claim specifics in this report are composite and fictional, constructed for illustrative and educational purposes. They do not describe any actual individual, insurer, or pending matter. This report does not constitute legal or insurance advice.